Aussie Wristwatch, I'm Jess, and today, as always, I'm super excited because I am going to do part 2 of my little special series on Bausele, or Bausele. I've been having this internal conflict about the pronunciation of their name. What's worse is Christo and Aaron have told me how to pronounce it. Because I'm useless, I've forgotten, and I've said the word so many times in my head, I've now convinced myself that every version of that word that I say is incorrect. So I apologize in advance. I still love your brand. And I'm so mortified by that. I'm like, oh goodness. But you know, it could be worse. I am wearing today one of the watches I will be talking about in detail, and it's the Sydney Diver. It's 39 millimeters, so it's on the, for me, smaller side, but it actually fits perfectly. And it's on a NATO like elastic strap, which seem to be all the rage at the moment. I had a bit of a giggle to myself when I first saw these, when Christo lent them to me. I've actually got the field watch in my hand. If you haven't seen that video, please go and see it now, because I talk about Bausele in detail, and also I talk about the origins of where both of these series came from, particularly the Veteran Support models. And anyway, the nylon strap. So Time and Tide sent me a nylon strap when I joined their club that was one of these, and I couldn't put it on any watch to save myself. But because I've had these watches in my temporarily in my collection for the week, I've been able to see how they work. I know, just go with this. And I managed to actually get it on one of my watches, on my Panzera actually. And I'm kind of in love with these straps. They're a little fiddly to get on and work out, but once you kind of get the hang of it, which I did, they fit like a glove. They're really comfortable. They're quite light. I've worn this. These are not my watches, they're on loan, so I've worn them around the house, but I haven't worn them out and about because I'm not prepared to do that when someone's lent me their watch and it's not mine. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I think on the tan strap, this one actually looks pretty good. Christo kind of said that as well. I tend to agree with him on that. But anyway, let's talk about this watch, other than me just admiring it to myself while you're all sitting there going, hello Jess, we're here. Shall we, in a little bit of detail. We'll go through dimensions, features, but first I want to talk about where they've come from, if that makes sense. So this is the Sydney Diver Veteran Support Watch. It's a limited edition. It's kind of like the brother or sister, however you want to look at it, to the classic field Veteran Support Watch. They're made to US Army regulations or specifications. So there's a reason that the dials are so plain, if I can put it that way, because the regs stipulate that you can't have branding and other sort of other complications on there. Sorry, so the indices have to be clearly legible. It has to be low to no glare, which makes sense, right? Because no one wants to see us coming. Well, the enemy does, hence why no glare. And with really, really great lume. Now, I talk at length about the lume in the other video, so you should check that out. The lume on these watches, because of the radium in them, outstanding. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about these watches. Now, the black one, like its brother, is the Veteran Support version of this watch, so it's made to specifications to suit the US Army. That is why it looks very plain, because it's black. It's very matte to get rid of reflection, and you cannot have visible branding on these watches. That is a requirement of the US Army. So that's why they look like this. I think it looks quite cool because it's very stealth. It's very military. I mean, it's really going to appeal to like a military buff for sure. And it's just a robust, I should say, watch. Now, my favorite, of course, is the beige, because you guys, I think, by now know, love a white colored dial watch, don't own one, and beige is like the next best thing, I think. It definitely, absolutely pops on the Field Classic, and likewise, it pops on the dive watch. So they're 39 millimeters. They're an automatic movement with a power reserve of 38 hours, and it's a Sellita SW200 movement. So it's a little bit different to the movement that you find in the tool watch. It's a sandblasted surgical grade stainless steel with a black IP coating, and the case back is also sandblasted surgical steel, and it's laser engraved with the US Army logo for the Veteran Support model, and it's laser engraved with the Bausele on the case back for the one that's not the Veteran Support. The crown is a screw down crown, and like all Bausele watches, it's filled with soil from military forts around the US. And like all of their watches, there's a little bit of either Australia or something that means something to that watch. So for these models, they're filled with soil that's been taken from US forts around the country, which I think is a really nice touch, particularly the Veteran Support model. So you're actually wearing a watch that's got a piece of the US military in it, of usually a fort where servicemen and women have trained to become soldiers. So it's got that level of meaning to a soldier. And I just think it's a really great touch. It's like they've had models in the past that have had tile from the opera house in there, which I think is fantastic. I mean, think of that as a great little memento, particularly if you're a tourist, right, and you want a souvenir. Well, even if you're Aussie, I think it's fabulous. Glass is domed sapphire crystal, and it's got 5 layers of anti-reflective coating. The dial and hands are 2-layer dial old radium luminova, which is pretty cool. It makes the lume on these watches very, very good. I mean, I had a little play with it with the tool watches in that video, and even now on this one. So let me get my little magic blue light out. I mean, it's like some of the best lume I've seen on a watch in a really, really long time. Let's do a comparison, shall we? Just really quickly on the Omega. So there, I mean, it's different, and it's great lume, don't get me wrong, but the price point of that watch is 10 times this one at $1,800. But look at that, it's fabulous. It's clear as day, it's fantastic. So I really love the lume. The lume, I've had a lot of fun with the lume this week. I know, it's the small things. Water resistance to 200 meters to dive watch, and it comes in 2 straps. So it comes in the NATO strap, which has very much grown on me. This nylon, what is it? It's a nylon elastic NATO strap, and it's actually really, really cool. Took me forever to work out. Don't even get me started. But once I got the hang of it, it's great. And then it also comes with a tropic rubber strap, which is, I don't have it here. I saw it, Christo had it on his version of this watch when I went to pick these up to borrow them the other day. So I did try it on then, and it was very, very comfortable. It's like really supple, soft material, like a really, really, really good leather. So yeah, you'd wear that to swim, right? You'd kind of wear this for more of the outdoor adventure, less water sports, but you could still wear this in the water, no problem. I feel about the 2 watches, if that's okay. I've talked about the whole Veteran Support and how it came about, but in short, if you haven't seen that video, please do. But Aaron, who's like the CEO of the brand, he lives sort of across 2 countries, including in LA. He noticed, like many people have noticed, a significant homeless population over there, and that there are a lot of veterans struggling. And he wanted to do something about that, you know, his part, I guess, as a social citizen, you know, and he sent an email to the right place, right time person at the Department of Defense and the US Army, and this collaboration kind of was born. And 12 veterans, along with Christo, who's the founder and let's call him chief watchmaker and chief designer for the watch brand. He worked with this team to develop these watches in line with the specifications that are set forth or set down by the US Army. And they were veterans, and they've been able to make this watch, you know, and I just think it's such a cool story. The proceeds from the sales of this watch, I think it's 10%, go back to certain not-for-profits in the US that help support veterans. So you've got MVP, which is an organization that helps veterans through sport. There's another organization that helps veterans through retreats and learning how to have tools to help them deal with their PTSD. You know, because it's a significant problem, and it's a problem here too. We're having a Royal Commission, or we've just finished a Royal Commission about serving members, and then what happens to them when they're no longer in the military here, and the rates of suicide for those people is, you know, it's astronomical, and it shouldn't be that way. And yeah, I think an organisation to do their part because they feel passionate about a cause such as this, and through Aaron, you know, need to be commended for that. So I have a soft spot for these watches purely based on their social conscience. You know, and I'm not some crazy lefty, not some crazy right wing either. I'm in the middle on most things. But I think that's really important. And, you know, I like to give back. So I'm not going to say anything really bad about these watches because of that. Because I think what they stand for is just so important. But we will talk about them. So, I mean, if we're going to go the obvious path, for me, the black is kind of stealth and cool, but it's probably my least favorite, to be honest with you. I actually really enjoyed it in the field watch, and I think because for me that's more a classic field watch look and design. It works a lot better for me. Where I enjoy this watch is on the beige, because it's got a little bit more, I love the word pizzazz, as you know, but it has a little bit more pizzazz. It pops for me. I think the beige and the black work really well and offset each other really well, whereas I think the black on black, understanding it's a design choice through regulation, and there's a reason it's black like this, but it doesn't work as well for me. I prefer very much this watch, which sadly, if I bought this watch, I don't think it's actually part of the Veteran Support program, so ironically, that's totally useless to the cause. So let me just double check that. This watch, it's not part of the Veteran Support series. That is just these two, which ironically, I actually love this watch. If out of all four, I'd probably buy this watch. But again, it's not part of the, I wonder if like part of that would be buy this watch, and then donate to one of those not-for-profits what they would have got. But the sad part about all of that is I'd want to wear something that's an official US Army watch, so I'd probably have to get this watch. Anyway, but look, from the dive watch perspective, the design of this watch, interestingly, the field watch had to be a certain thickness, and this one Christo was explaining to me, he was allowed to play around with that element of it. So he's really curved and made curved lines a feature of this watch, which I think has made it a watch that sits better on your wrist and actually fits a lot better. And dive watch, and I always lean towards a dive watch. The more I wear this one, actually, the more it's growing on me, I must admit. And because, you know, Christo's really played around with like the curves and the lines, it absolutely fits like a glove. And with this strap, the strap is light, and because the strap is so thin, it doesn't sit high on the lugs like a normal nylon NATO strap does, particularly when I wear this watch. I barely ever put it on my nylon strap because it sits too high, and it doesn't look good. Whereas this is like the polar opposite of that. It's actually, the more I wear this watch, the more it really is growing on me, because I'm wearing this one now with the green strap, and I'm like, I really like this watch. I'm like, I could so be on my mountain bike with this watch. as I could this watch. But yeah, like the more I think about it, the more I'm like, actually, I think the diver is quite nice. And it is. It really is, because of the design elements of it and the tapering of the actual face and the curves. But I just think makes it a little bit easier to wear, and probably does sit better than sitting up. Let me put the tool one on, and let's just compare very quickly, if I could do this in some real time with a short little cut. That sits way up, but because of the size of the dial, it's not that offensive. It actually fits better, because I've got the NATO, I think, fitted properly for this one. Like I said, the NATO takes a little bit of getting used to, not only to get the size right and figure out how to size it, but also to just get the clip on. But there you go. See that? So it does, because it's almost 12 mil, it's much higher. It's more a traditional round tool watch, which is what it's meant to be. Whereas I think, yeah, having now lived a little in it, the black has definitely grown on me. I quite liked the beige, but yeah, this kind of military look, because you guys know I'm partial to the military. So yeah, look, there you go. So I mean, the clear negative for me is it's very plain, but that's not by choice. That's by following a set of guidelines and criteria in order to make a watch for the US military. So that makes sense, right? This one kind of gets to prance around that issue by popping with the beige dial, great luminova in there, and it just makes it a bit different. But again, the reasons I love this watch are the reasons I probably, if I was going to buy one of them, not buy it, because it's not the US Army watch. It's like I'm stuck in a catch-22 of epic proportions as a watch enthusiast and collector. But the brand itself, like, I really want to support. The Aaron and Christo are lovely. Like so many people I meet in the watch industry and watch collectors and enthusiasts, everyone's really cool, really friendly, really welcoming. I mean, they've lent me 4 of their watches to take home, play with, do a video, and they're thanking me. And I'm like, no, guys, thank you. Without you guys lending me this stuff, I can't make the content on this channel, because I really want to get more hands-on with watches. I've been lacking in inspiration a little bit lately, so I've slowed down my video output because of that. So thank you for giving me some content. I really do appreciate it. I just want to briefly talk about this because I think it's important. So Christo packed all these watches up in these little pouches for me. So they're branded, they're leather, and they're made in the Ukraine by a lady called Oksana. So hi Oksana, I hope everything's going okay over there. I think we have a very privileged life living on this side of the world and not being subjected to a war. But yeah, Christo said, with the exception of I think like a week or two's disruption at the beginning of the war, these bad boys have been filtering through at their normal rate since. So I think that, how does that happen? It's extraordinary. But yeah, look, you need to check this brand out, particularly if you're watching this and you're an Aussie. Please support the locals. I know there's so many more Aussie brands out there that I haven't even touched on. There's ones that I am aware of, there's ones that I'm not aware of. Please let me know in the comments who they are, because if I can do a video, I will happily check them out for sure. A fantastic daily beater for anyone out there. The dive watch is 1,800 Australian, so I don't know what the exchange rate is at the moment. It's still looking pretty good if you're an American. For us, 1,800 bucks it's not cheap, but I think you get a lot of bang for your buck when it comes to these guys. The tool watch is $800 cheaper for obvious reasons. There's different work and componentry that goes into these with movements, etc., and the water resistance level. But notwithstanding that, I think they're both sharply priced for what they are. But yeah, I mean, I do really enjoy this, genuinely enjoy this brand. I do not have one in the collection. I want to have one in the collection. I will at some point. It's like everything. It's a work in progress. There's so much money to go around. But thank you again, guys, for lending me these watches. I really appreciate it so much. I love it. I love what you're doing in terms of wanting to support veterans. I commend you for basically putting your money where your mouth is and integrating that passion and, you know, sense of social, social conscience into your business model, because I mean, you've developed a series of watches that limit you in your design aesthetic to support the military and the veterans, and so, you know, that costs money. That's what I mean when you're putting your money where your mouth is. Thank you. To every veteran out there, thank you for your service, and until next time, have a good one.